Okay, this is the second of a series of video segments that I'm preparing for the people who are transitioning to 3D experience, but they have a Catia V5 background. The particular 3D experience platform that I'm referring to is 2023X. That's because this is going through a continuous refinement, and as you go release to release, certain functionalities may look different. Additions have been made to certain features, and I'm specifically referring to 2023X. Now, uh, the the first video that I did was to show you how to actually create parameters in 3D Experience and equation in 3D Experience and actually display it in the tree. And I did that in the context of a part, okay, which by the way, part is the reference to things in Catia V5 in 3D Experience called 3D shape, okay? And I will go to that same problem, except that I will not parameterize it, but I will create a design table. In other words, read an Excel spreadsheet into the 3D experience, which actually the part is made out of different rows of that. I will come back and do a third segment on the same problem, except that I will not use parameters. Instead, I will use the renaming possibility of different dimensions. Now, uh, keep in mind that what is buried, what is embedded in 3D experience is not actually CATIA V5. It's some form of CATIA V6. That's why it may be very frustrating for people who are coming from CATIA V5 expecting to see exactly to transfer exactly what they know from there to the 3D experience. It takes some time. It's not hard, but I'm trying to help you uh, ease that transitioning possibility. Okay, so let me show you what I did in that earlier video. I created this box. The base of the box is a square, and the height or the padded height is actually half of this base size. Now, the things that are really of interest to us is the length L and the whole radius R, which we're going to import it through a spreadsheet that I already created, and it looks like this. This is the spreadsheet that I'm going to read into 3D Experience. Now, uh, let me remind you that displaying things in the tree in 3D experience is not as straightforward or not as the same approach as is as done in CATIA V5. So here's what you do. You go to the top right corner on the preferences, you you get this dialog box and make sure that the common preferences is tab is selected, and then you see other properties, object properties here. If you click on that, this thing opens up, and obviously you click on the 3D shape. You don't want these two, 3D shape, and under display. Ordinarily, these may not be checked, and if they're not checked, obviously you cannot see your parameters and equations or relations in the tree. So make sure these are checked. I will lead you through that. Now, there is an alternative place where parameters and relations are also listed, but that does not work. Please watch the first video segment prior to that. And there I show you that actually going to this parameters, measures, and units and trying to check things which says parameters is not going to do the job. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead to or Catia, or not Catia, I keep referring to Catia. This is a 3D experience platform. And notice that right now, I am in the part design. If I click on this, double click on it, you'll go into assembly design. This video and the previous one was doing things at the part level, okay? At the part level, not at the assembly level. That's why I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna go. Let me show you first something. Here is the uh, assembly level, right? Look at this assembly level. Now, first of all, let's go and make sure that those parameters and things are checked. I go there on the preferences, and here is the common preferences. See that under object properties, 3D shape, display. Right now, these are checked. Okay, if I uncheck it, obviously nothing is going to show on my tree. Okay, but you know what? For now, I'm going to uncheck that because we're going to have to come back and check it. Now, the thing that I mentioned earlier was that there's also this thing. If you go to parameters and measures, on the parameters, there are these two things that are already checked, but this does not display the parameter and the formulas in my tree. Okay, um, check it or uncheck it, it doesn't matter. I will keep it. I will keep it like that because it doesn't matter if you uncheck it or you check it. It does not affect what I want to show you. Okay, so I'll just leave it like this. I will leave it like that. However, notice that I did actually go to object properties, 3D shape, display, and I uncheck these to show you that even though you may be creating things, they're not going to show in the tree until you come back here and check these two. Okay, so we will come back here and check these two. Now, let me uh, close this. Don't need it. All right. Now, before before I do my part, I want to create parameters, but I want to caution you, look at where you are. Assembly design. This is not going to work in the assembly design, but I want to show you what do I mean by not working. So you go there, and remember uh, the parameters and formulas are in f of x, defined in f of x. You click on it. You click on it. Okay, and uh, you try to create two parameters, L and R. Remember, we had to create these two parameters, L and R. But when I try, for example, to create this new parameter of type length, when I create that, when I try to create it, this message pops up, which says you should create a knowledge engineering specification, etc., etc. So this is giving you that message because I'm at the assembly design level. So I said, fine, don't worry about it. Cancel that. Go to the part, just double click, left click, double click on this. So now you're in part design. And if you do the same thing, go to f of x. Here is new parameter. Remember I gave you an error message. You click on it. See, no problem. And I get, I go L. Let's make L 10. Another one. I'll make it R. Let's make this thing 3 and say okay. See, what happens is my parameters did show up here in the in the tree. Now let's see why did they show up. So you go to tools, not tools. You go to preferences. Under display. See that display? These two were checked. Let me uncheck it. Let me uncheck the parameter, and then say okay. Gone. The parameter is gone. The parameter is still there, but you can, these two parameters are still there, but you cannot see it in the tree. So let's go activate it again. Preferences, parameters, and relations. I don't have a relations yet, but anyway, I do that right there. These are the two. Okay, very good. Now let's go create our part. So on this plane, I will sketch. Let me orient myself so that X is H pointing to the right. I feel more comfortable this way. So here is the rectangle. Let's dimension these things. So this is going to be one of the dimensions. Here is going to be the other guy. Let's draw a circle in the middle and dimension this also. All right. So we exit and we pad it. We pad it. Now notice that here there is no, are we in part design? Yeah, we're in part design. You click on the essentials and there's the pad. It's padded up. Good, good. Now we want to create our relations. Relation means that one side is equal to the other side, and the height, padded height, is half of one of the sides. So how do we do that? We go once again to Tools, click on f of x, click on the part. So I want to say this side, add a formula equal to that side. You can put the cursor here, left double click, and it puts it up there, for example. That's one way of doing it. All right, so we have an equation. We have a relation that's formed here. Right there, you can see that. This is the relation that I just made, okay? And there's more to it, of course, that's hidden behind this, okay? So I'll just leave it like that. Now, the other one is that the height, this padded height, you see that? Let's move. Where's the first limit? Right there. Add a formula equal to 0.5, 0.5 times, which means half of this dimension. Okay? And say okay. Good. One more equation that we want. Radius of this radius is equal to this radius is equal to, oh, right, that we don't need an equation. No, yeah, that's right. Select this. Well, let me stop for a second here. Right now, these guys, L and R, have nothing to do with these. So now I have to select this dimension here and say it's equal to L, and take the radius from the screen and say it's equal to R. So let me go click on this again. Click on the part. So I want to say this, add a formula equal to L. You can do it from here, or you can type L, whatever. Okay. And that radius, add a formula equal to R. Okay. And okay. Now, this is fully parameterized. If you want, you can go and change things from here. For example, if I make R equal to, from 3 equal to 4, this becomes bigger. You can see that. But this is parameterizing. I want to create the design table. Up to this point is exactly what I did in the previous video. Okay, from this point on, I want to create my design table. Okay, so let's see what happens there. So there is the design table for a part. Notice that I'm in part. The process for assembly will be can be done differently. Okay, we are doing these first two videos are at the part level. So you click on this, click on that. We say okay. Import the file. Right here it says import the file. You click on it. This is the Excel spreadsheet that I already created. You say okay. And then notice that we say okay here. All right. And then we yes, accept all, right there. Okay. I checked that green arrow there. It came back with this message. Do you want to automatically associate columns of the design table and the parameters of the model that have the same name? Do you remember? These are the columns of my Excel spreadsheet. L and R is asking for permission to match these things with the parameters of your that are in your model. And I say, okay, now by the way, here it says design table 2 because earlier I did the design table 1 which I deleted, not with you guys, but there I did that. That's why I start with design table 2. If you're following me and you're doing this thing the first time you do it, it's going to be design table 1. You say, okay, yes. So here's what happened. Look, there we are. So this was imported. If I select the first row and say apply, this resizes according to the information that's given here. If I select the second row and apply, resizes according to the dimensions here. And the last one, apply, resizes accordingly. Okay, so these two are always the same because I created an equation, and this side is always half of that because I created an equation. These other two equation or formulas are because I made those dimensions equal to L and equal to all. And by the way, you know how this thing works, so you can, if you want, you can go and edit the table. You can add stuff here. For example, I can say 20 and make another maybe 9.5. If I make this thing bigger than 10, of course, the circle is going to go outside. Actually, let me show you here. 11. Say this is going to be, the circle is going to be bigger than that. So actually, that does not make sense. Let me make it 14. I don't know, something like that. Make sure you say save and you close. It comes back with a synchronization message right here. You say fine, and this has been added. If I select this and apply, oops, okay, hang in there. Let's see how this thing looks like, because it looks like I messed up the sketch. Yeah, okay, so that's fine. That's what happened. So exit, no problem. Close. Okay, let's go to that table. Edit the table. Instead of 14, I make it 16 or 15, doesn't matter. You save it, you close it, you say okay, there, apply, and there we are. Okay. The other number that I put in there made it self-intersecting, but if you go to the other fellow, you're going to get back what you have. Anyway, so the key was displaying these things, which is exactly the same process that you do it for video one. Is exactly the same thing. When you do that, design tables are also going to be displayed. And now I'm going to prepare another video on the same problem, except that I will not create parameters. Okay, I will rename stuff, as you will see. All right, so let me stop this. Good luck.